Hello, everyone. This is our first Cognos Analytics session. My name is Yelena, and I'm going to be your Cognos Analytics administrator, and I'm going to run today's session as well as another session in 4 weeks from today. All right? This session is being recorded, and there will be a lot of information covered today, so trust me, you will need to watch the recording even if you were able to attend it live, and you may need to watch certain portions of the recording more than once. All right? So let's get started. Here is the agenda. I'm going to show you how to access the Cognos Analytics environment. I already set up all of your accounts. I'm going to show you how to get started. I'll show you how to use the interface. We're going to talk about data sets versus data module. We're going to discuss data preparation, data explorations, and more. All right, so it's a big agenda. So let's start rolling. So first of all, to start with, what is Cognos Analytics? The whole idea is a self-service, and it has an intuitive web-based interface. The whole idea is you upload the data, and while the data is being uploaded, it's analyzed for relationships among columns, and Cognos will extract the useful insights for you, and it supports the visual data exploration. So all you do is you select the visualization type that you want to use, right? Or just drag and drop the fields into Canvas, and then the application will provide you the insights. In addition, it will give you the recommendations based on what you're currently looking at. So you may build interactive dashboards and stories. We will cover dashboards and stories in the next session. Then you can also show which data is actually being visualized. Then also you can do reporting, but we're not going to cover reporting in this course, but just keep in mind that it's a possibility, right? So next thing is that this is very important. Before I show you how to access an account, important. You're going to be logging in to Cognos Analytics in your browser. Please avoid using the browser back and forward buttons because you might end up losing your work. Deletions cannot be undone. You're not working on your PC. You're working on a virtual desktop environment, right? An application is installed there. So if you delete the file, right? If you delete the file with visualizations that you created, there is no way to restore it. So please be careful with what you delete. There is no recycle bin, and I'll show you. Well, and then also what you'll see is there is a dependency between data and the visualizations. So if you delete the data, all visualizations that you build with that data will become permanently invalid. Even re-uploading the data does not fix the problem. The damage is permanent. So please be careful. Then you're going to be working on a virtual. It's a virtual environment, right? So you cannot copy and paste the text from your PC directly. I'll show you how to use a clipboard tool. Always save your work, and please do yourself a big favor. Start working on assignments early. Yes, start working on assignments early. You don't want to be dependent on the power outages and any potential technical issues. And the assignments do take time, all right? So please do yourself the favor, start early. So now, how do you access your account? So this is a site, right? vdi.umgc.edu that you need to log into, and I'm gonna go in there also. So, oops, it's because I was idle for some time and signed me out. So let me type this vdi.umgc.edu. But unfortunately, for the faculty, it's SSO, so now it might ask me to do something else. Oh no, it's not. See, because this is a single sign-on, okay? Basically, if you're logged into your email, it should not be asking you for your password, okay? It works a little bit different for the faculty, so bear with me. Okay, I signed in. All right, so this is a Cistrix workspace. If you're logged into your classroom, when you type this URL directly, it will take you straight. You will not be asked to enter your password again. But if it does ask you, if it does ask you to enter your password, right, it is the same as your learning management. It's the same as your Leo username and password, and same as your student username and student email username and password, right? So that part, that. Where are you right now? Right now you are on Citrix. And here you should see IBM Cognos in your favorites, right? So what you have to do is you just click on open, right? And it says that little pop-up launching up. Here it is. It opened in another tab. So right now, so this is Cognos, right? IBM Cognos Analytics. See that? This is a Cognos login screen. So here you're going to enter your Cognos username, and I'll tell you what it is, and Cognos password. All right. So what it is, let me tell you. It's here. You're going to have a copy of the slides. So pay attention. Your Cognos username is basically what you do is you need to take your do you know your university email, right? Your university email ends with student.umgc.edu, right? But the first piece of that email, like for example, suppose that your student email is msmith@student.umgc.edu, right? msmith is going to be your Cognos username. Your password is welcome. Everybody's password is welcome, but this is what I did. The password must contain at least one number. Letter E, right? I replaced it with number 3. It's very easy to remember because if you look at your keyboard, number 3 is located above letter E. All right? So the password is welcome. The first letter is capitalized, exclamation point at the end, and letter E is replaced with number 3. All right? But the only difference that what I'm going to be doing now for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm not going to use my admin account. I have a separate account that I'm going to use for the demonstration, right? But for you, right, I already told you what your password is, right? And everybody's password is the same. The reason is if I have to log in to your account for the troubleshooting, I should be able to do that. Right? So you are not allowed, you will not be able to reset the password. Right? I'm logged in right now. So here it is. I'm right now logged into the demo account. Demo account has the same permissions that your student account has. Okay? Similar permissions. So what is this? This is a landing page, welcome page, right? And the bottom, and in the middle section, you will see the tiles, a tile for each file that you had recently opened. At the moment, there is nothing because I cleared. I cleared recent to start clean on purpose. Here, what you have is this. You have my content. My content is all data, all files with visualizations that are available only to you. Only what you see, your personal files that you have created, right? You will be saving the work to my content area. Those are your files. Team content, it has few things in here. It has pre-installed folders. This folder, calendar, get started, sample, and template. These folders are pre-installed. In a sample, there are some sample data sets and some sample visualizations, right? It was pre-installed with Cognos installation. And there is another folder, very important folder that I set up for you. This is called data 610, data for assignments. So this is a data that you will use for your assignments. And when you access your account, please make sure that you see this in the team content. If you do not see this in the team content, you need to submit the ticket. It's very easy fix, okay? No-brainer fix for me. All right. So here it is, data for data 610 assignments, and this is how it's organized. I created the subfolders, a subfolder for each assignment. All right. So here, this is the data for your first Cognos assignment due next week. But please, please get it done as soon as possible, because the purpose of your very first Cognos assignment is just to show that you know how to access the data and where to access the data, and that you know how to do something with the data, right? Your big assignment 2 for the course will remain unavailable until you submit this introduction to Cognos assignment, all right? So here, this is the data for assignment for the getting started. This is your assignment 2 data, Nashville housing data, where you'll be analyzing the house value, right? Then assignments 3 and 4, you will use the same data set for assignments 3 and 4 for the continuation of 3. So when the time comes, you have 6 choices here. You will choose one of these, and you will stay with it for assignments 3 and 4. 5, I'm going to talk about it in the next session, all right? So what you will do is this. See, this is what team content. You have read-only access for team content. The files are shared. You cannot make any modifications to those. So what you will do in your first assignment is this. You're going to go here. This is the files that you will use. Before you do anything, you will need to copy the file to my content, right? Because you're working from my content area. How do you do this? You're going to click on this ellipsis. Clicking on ellipsis here opens the file context menu. And you're going to select copy or move, right? And of course, what you're going to do, you're not going to move. You're going to do copy, right? But you have to select the destination. The destination is going to be what? My content, right? My content. And you're going to select copy to. Not move to, but copy to. If you select move to, you're going to get an error. Why are you going to get an error? Because behind the scene, when you move the file is deleted from the original location. But you have read-only access for the original location, right? So that's copy to. And now the file is going to be copied to my content. This is the area where you have your files, right? Team content, files that were shared with you, right? See here, this is a path. It tells where I'm currently at, right? I navigate. See this folder is very important, and it will be repeated throughout the semester, okay? Now, what is this? Recent. Whenever you have something opened recently, it will be listed here. Also, you will see a tile appear here, okay? Now, next thing is, oh, I said that we cannot copy and paste, but there is a clipboard tool. So click this. This is a clipboard tool. So to use copy paste functionality from my PC, I would have to paste it in a clipboard here first, then copy it from the clipboard to where I need it to be, all right? Now, you will not be able to upload your data, but you are provided data for all assignments. Cool? Okay. And that's just an overview. I explained to you the interface, and I told you that we cannot use the browser back button, right? But when we have a lot of things open, everything that you have open will appear here. When you click on this arrow, it will show here everything that you had open. It will make more sense when I have things open, right? So, and I showed you how to access the preloaded data that I preloaded for you, right? This is the data that we're going to use for today's demonstration. The data stores the insurance claims records, including the information about the customer, such as where the customer lives, right? The type of employment, the customer employment status, the type of coverage that the customer has, the type of cars that the customer drives, and what type of claims the customer submitted. And we use that information. The whole idea is here to predict, to estimate the total claim amount. What's the total claim amount? Which factors have an impact on the total claim amount the most? What is it, right? But take a look at this. Note this. Do you see some data is missing here? We will have to handle it tonight. See this? Do you see? I'm showing you some data is missing. Some records are missing values. And please note that a lot of data is missing several fields if effective to date is unavailable, right? And that data, if you want to follow along the recording, that data is stored in the team content. See this data? In here, this is the walkthrough data. And this is the data that I'm gonna be using, right? There is a claims and weather data, okay? Claims and weather, that's the data that I'm using. This data set is one of the data sets that is used somewhere in a course content somewhere. There is a tutorial or something where they use HR training. So this data is available for you if you want to follow along the tutorial, okay? So now, when you are doing your first assignment, you're using this data, and straight from this data, you're going to be creating the data exploration straight from this data. But if you look at this, there is no way to click on this data and to preview it, right? Notice there is no button to preview my data, right? I cannot make any modifications, okay? So it takes us to another topic. There are different types of data sources. There is a data set, and data module. You may use data set and data module to build your visualization. Data set is just the Microsoft Excel or Microsoft CSV or the CSV file. See, those two are as a data sets, right? You see that? All right. So, but what you need to remember is that both data sets but for the data module, see, the plus of having a data module is that you may customize the data, right? The way the data is here right now, I cannot customize it. I cannot handle the rows with missing values, for example. I cannot apply any filters to this data directly, right? I cannot preview it. I cannot add my calculation. I can create visualization and create my calculations at visualization level, but I want to work smart. I want to create my calculation once, and I want to reuse it everywhere else when I create visualizations from the data, right? So what I need to do is taking us to the topic called data module. We can customize, we can create reusable calculation, and you may preview data directly. All right? So what I'll do right now, I'm going to use my claims and weather data. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click this opens up the context menu, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a data module. We're going to create a data module right now. By default, it's calling it new data module. We're going to rename it. I click here. So what is this? This is a file that was used as a source, right? Do you remember I mentioned that there are some missing data? Missing data is going to be stored. It says no. See? So this is my data here. Here across, I have column names. Remember the column names? They match the column names in that screenshot that I showed you a minute ago, right? This is a data set that we're using. See, here are the list of column names here listed in the left panel. And also the first row in here is listing the column names. But you may have noticed, may or may not have noticed that there is a one column here called row ID that is not shown on this slide. Why? Because row ID, this is a hidden column, all right? So hidden column are not, they exist, and they can be used in the calculations that I create in the data module, but they're not available to the user for visualizations. So you notice that each column here has a different icon. and different icon indicates different data type, right? Like see that, for instance, the customer number, that's an identifier, right? Then I've got here the values are yes, no, or null is missing, right? Then here employment status, it's a categorical column. The values are unemployed or employed, right? So the column properties that you have, the calculations that you can define also depend on column the data type. But if I do this, see this, if I scroll down, like for example, see this total claim amount, I'm gonna click here, right? And I can look at the column properties. So this is a label. Label is actually how the column name is displayed. I can show or hide the column to the users. Of course, I want to show this, right? I'll show you today. We will have to edit an expression for one of the columns. Usage measure. So that's basically the columns that we're going to be using for analyzing, right? And we're going to be summarizing total claim amount. Aggregate property tells how the column is being summarized. For example, if I want to look at the total claim by state, I probably do not want to look at the sum of all claims in the state. I probably want to look at the average total claim amount. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to change this property, aggregate. I'm going to change it once, and I'm going to change it here. Because all the time, when I'm looking at the claim amount, I want to look at the average claim amount by state. I want to look at the average claim amount for perhaps average claim amount per claim type, right? Or per policy type, something like that. Okay? So here it is. And then the screen tip is basically what you see when you hover over the column in the visualization. That's it, right? So we're good. So that's the column properties. And the properties, of course, are different based on the column data type. See, this column is hidden, row ID, because they don't want to be used in the calculations. Sometimes it could be something like a customer name. You want to hide it because customer name is a personal identifying information. You don't want it to be visible for analysis. Another example of the columns that you could hide here would be perhaps your country. Well, yes or no. First of all, probably you won't use it in analysis much because everybody is in US, right? If you look at it, right? If I look at it, the value is US for everybody. See, like if I want to perhaps if I just click on filter it, for categorical columns, it just give me the list of values that the column might have. US, everybody is in US, right? Anyway, so see, one thing that I forgot to do something very important. And what did I forget to do? I forget to save it. So let's save it. How do we save it? We're gonna save it where? In the my content, right? And I'm gonna save it as what? Claims and weather data module. Claims and weather data module. Always make sure that the name is descriptive because as you keep working on things, you're gonna have more files, right? It will be harder to find stuff if you forget how you save it. So here I just spelled out how to create a data module, nothing else, right? Here we're talking about the data module interface, and there are some nice buttons here, undo and redo. You can undo the latest change and you can redo the last change, okay? I want to select grid, right? Here, I select my data. This is my data, okay? Now, and of course, the data. So here you can look at I just explained to you the different column properties. Like for example, for the state column, it also geographical data, it picks up that the data is geographical in nation. Aggregation, you're gonna specify how the column is being summarized, all right? So I changed the total claim amount on purpose. I'm not gonna change the income, all right? All right. So we talked about the column properties. We talked about, now we're going to talk about the data preparation. So what's data preparation? Hiding certain columns from user view, adding filters, editing column properties. I just edited one column properties, handling missing values. How do we handle missing values? You have several options. You can filter the row altogether. You can impute missing values or to set to the column average. You can hide the column that has too many missing values, or you can treat the missing values as a separate category. Like for example, if you have a categorical column called claim type and claim type is unknown, you can treat unknown, you can treat unspecified claim type as other, right? You can handle outliers, you can add the calculation. Calculation is a new column. You can add data groups and you can add the navigation hierarchy. So I showed you how to hide the column, right? You just change the property. We can add filter. Filter specifies the conditions that must be true for the row to stay, right? The specific row must meet the condition. And we use the expression editor to specify the filter. But in Cognos, there are two filters. We'll define the filter. We can define the filter at the table level and at the column level. But remember, there are embedded filter. This filter is defined in the data module, and it applied to the data at all times. You cannot turn it on and off. Selectable filter is a filter that you can apply to visualizations as you need. It's not applied, it's defined at the data module, but it's not applied in the data module, not necessarily applied at the data module. And I'm going to walk through both. Also, what I did for you, I prepared a set of how-to videos. There are videos for the filters, all right? So now we're going to look at we're going to create an embedded filter, and I want to exclude all rows that mention effective to date. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this, we have some data here that mention effective to date, and a lot of other columns. So what I want to do is I want to create a filter, right? And I want to exclude, I want all rows to be excluded if they're missing effective to date. So how do I do this? I'm gonna click here, right? And I'm gonna click on manage filters. This one, manage filters right here. And I don't want to select the column. I want to do via expression editor, right? Now I click on add filter. It's going to open the expression editor. What's an expression editor? Well, obviously, it allows you to define the expression for the rows that the rows must need to stay, right? So here are the columns in my data set, and those are the available functions. So first one, I'm just going to say this. I want effective to date, right? And if I don't see the column right away, I can run a search, see? So this is effective to date. I drag and drop the column here into expression. And what effective to date? Operator, right? And the operator is not missing, right? So it should be in here, is not missing. The condition is effective to date is not missing. Very important, you need to validate. Always validate the expression, because if the expression is invalid, you break the data module, okay? You want to make sure the expression is valid. I'm gonna click OK now. Wait, no, I'm not ready to click OK. I have to name. I have to name my filter, right? So let's name it. Let's name this filter as effective to date is not missing. You want to make name descriptive. Jesus, effective to date is not missing. That's going to be my filter name. I can name it anything, but I want it to be descriptive. Right now, I'm going to click on OK. See? Well, let's see what happened. Immediately, I don't see the rows with effective to date missing, because this is an embedded filter. It applied right away, right? And at any time, if I need to go back to my filters, right? See this? I can do here, right? In properties, see this? I can click on filters, and see this? this is a filter name. I can always click here and I can always edit the filter, right? I can always edit my filter if I want, right? Always. I can always open it in the editor, right? Etc. Oops, cancel. Okay, so this is a filter. I can always do this, but here it is, because I have to select wire expression editor. See, always select expression editor. Okay, so I have this filter. All right, I just defined the filter, and it filtered, right? I defined this filter. Manage filter. It's gonna be here. See this? It should open the editor, right? Oops. I can delete the filter if I don't like something, if I don't like how the filter was created. See, I deleted it. I'm gonna recreate it now. All right. So here, see this manage filter. I'm gonna do instead of this, I just do wire expression editor, add filter, and I'm gonna name it again. Something went wrong, so I have to recreate it, right? Oops. Control Z. Control Z. Something went wrong. Okay, so I want to specify effective due date is not missing. Oops. Control Z. Something is going on today. Missing. Effective due date is not missing. Validate again. Okay, so that was the filter that I created, right? Right now I'm going to create a different type of filter, and let's save it. I'm going to create a selectable filter. Selectable filter is a filter that you do not necessarily that not necessarily apply until you have to, right? So I'm gonna create another filter, and then this time, instead of doing what I did earlier, right, I'm just gonna do filter. And what I'll do is I'm gonna instead of typing the expression, I have an expression here. I'm gonna copy and paste my expression. So watch out. This is my PC. The slides are on my PC. And I'm right now on a remote machine. How do I do copy and paste? I have to open this clipboard. See this? This is a clipboard. Control V. I paste it into the clipboard. Now I go here and I paste it here. This is an expression. And I want to create a filter where I want to look at the policy for the personal, right? Policy type is personal and the vehicle size is small. I want to be able to look at the subset of the data that meet these two conditions. And means both conditions must be true. All right? And I want to be able to turn this filter on and off. So let's do this. And I'm gonna validate it. And there is an error in here. Right? There is an error intentionally. Why there is an error? Because of this single quote. All right? You need to make sure that your expression is valid. I validate it. And also, there is something called Pretify. This is for the readability. All right? Because I want everything to be. So what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna go ahead and name this, and I'm gonna name it as personal policy for small vehicle. Okay? Or small vehicle. I'll save this filter. I want to have a descriptive name, and I'll tell you why later. All right? So policy type contains small, and the vehicle size contains small. However, I defined this filter, right? See this? What happened? The filter appears under the column name, right? But if I go to my vehicle size, right? My column was not filtered actually. Why my column was not filtered? Because I defined the selectable filter. This is a filter that I will apply as needed, right? So if I search for what? Policy type, right? Policy type, right? Policy type. I select policy type here. Do you see this? I see corporate. Why do I see corporate? Why didn't it filter only to personal? Because I did not create an embedded filter. What type of filter did I create? Selectable. The filters that I can turn on and off, okay? So that's a filter that I will be turning on and off. Okay, save. If you see asterisk next to the file name here, it means your latest change was not saved. See, this is a file name. Asterisk disappeared, it means I saved the latest change. You want to save the latest change. All right? Okay, so we created a filter. Next topic, missing values. The values are still missing. Income is still missing values. What I'll do right now is I'm gonna do this. If income values are missing, I'm gonna set them to the column average. All right. So first I need to find my column. Column name is income. If I don't see the column right away, I can do the search. It's gonna find me the column for me. See, this is the income. What I'll do right now, I have to go to the properties. This is a column expression. I'm gonna edit the column expression right now. And what I'll do is, you have to put a construct here, right? It's called the construct, and it's gonna be in the functions, but it's gonna be in here. It's not in here, but it's gonna be in a construct. I'm gonna copy this template for if else, right? So what is the condition, right? If income is missing, then I want to take column average. Otherwise, I want to take my income as is, right? So this is as is. Else, I want to take income. If, so let's build the condition here. So what is a condition here? If income, right? So I'm finding my column, income. And what about income is missing, right? I can type the operator that I want to use, right? And see here, information, it shows me the correct syntax for the operator. If income is missing, then what do I need to do here? I need to do something. If it's missing, what do I need to do? I need to take, it's in the summaries, and I want to take the average. And what I'm going to take the average of? Income, right? I'm going to take the average of income. I did mention before that you're getting insights from data without writing code. But Yelena is a liar. Yelena is writing the code right now. No, not necessarily. I'm just writing the code for this expression, for the filter expression. But I'm not writing the code to run the decision tree method, perhaps, right? I'm not writing the code to do visualization, but I'm just writing this expression. Okay? So here, I validated. See, expression is valid, no syntax errors. Then what you want to do also, you want to probably do this nice indentation. I'll keep the name as is. I edited the expression, I click OK. And right now I'm gonna save it. See this, what it's doing? The value was missing, it set it to the average. I'm gonna save this, okay? So we got that piece. We got missing values. I created a video where I'm showing you for categorical columns, if the value is missing, claim type, it's going to treat it as other. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the next topic is a data exploration. Here, the topics will be covered in a slightly different order from the slides, but we'll cover them. Bear with me, and it's a lot to cover, as I said, and you will need to watch this big lecture more than once. Trust me. Okay, so now what I'll do, close. I saved it, right? How do I know? I don't see the asterisk. But if I did not, it will tell me. I'm going to close it. Watch what happened. This is recent. This tile was added to my recent right now. This is what I had recently opened. I can click on the context menu here, and click on create exploration, right? I can do it from here, or I can also go to, it's gonna appear in the my content. See, in the my content, this is claims and weather data modules that I would use for exploration, right? See this? And I'm gonna click on create exploration. That one. It's gonna open the exploration workbook. Well, see this? It opened the exploration workbook. Does it look familiar? Take a look at this. What is this? Those are our columns in the data, all right? Each column has a different icon. The icon represents different column data types, right? What in the world is this? This is selectable filters that we created, right? If I did not use the descriptive name to call it personal policy for small vehicle, there is no way in the world to know what that is without actually going back to my data module. So thanks goodness, what did I do? I used descriptive name, so I know what it is. If I did not use a descriptive name, I would have to use my data module to see how it was configured, right? And here are all columns. I did not create any calculations, but what did we do? Do you remember we changed the total claim amount? If I go to the column properties, we changed to look at the average. And this change is available in this data exploration. I don't need to change it again. On the other hand, I did not change this property for the incomes, right? If I want to look at the people income, do I care about the sum of all earnings in the state? Probably not. So what do I care about? I care about the average, right? I can go ahead and make this change here, okay? I made this change here. The problem is this change applies only to this exploration. If I was going to create new exploration, the change that I just made is not going to be applicable, right? Only here. So that's the reason why you create data module, you make all those necessary calculations and you use them in your visualizations, right? Well, what do you see here? Those are, see the column names, and you have each column name is represented as a pin. Not all column names are here, but look, here, those are the suggested targets. So when data was uploaded, Cognos tried to identify what I might be interested in analysis, right? And I decided that I'll probably be looking at the total claim amount. So see, this is what we're trying to predict, dependent variable, right? So this is what we are predicting, target, total claim amount, and it's represented as a pin, the dark pin. Other columns are represented as a purple pins. And the collecting the arc shows the relationship. And if you hover over the arc, you see the percentage, which is strength of the relationships between the corresponding columns. For example, see this number of policies and claim amount, the relationship strength is 50%. The thicker the arc, the stronger is the relationship. What I could do is, see, I clicked on this, all right? And it's gonna give me the starting visualizations. For example, this is just shows the average claim amount. Here are showing the drivers of the claim amount. I can do is I can click on this plus sign, and it will add this visualization card to my workbook, to my visualization workbook. See? So what I could do, I could click on this, right? I want to use this as a starting point. I can click on see more, right? And select some of the visualizations. Alternatively, what else I could do? See, I have only claim amount selected. I can use the control key and select another. For example, I want to select something like a coverage, right? I want to select the coverage. See, I selected both claim amount and coverage. So now it's going to adjust, it's supposed to adjust the visualizations based on my current selections. See, based on this current selection, like see here, I'm going to click on this. I can add this. Based on what I currently have selected, it's going to give me the visualizations, right? So I can do it this way. When I select the specific visualization, for example, total claim by count, see this? So here, I click here, those are the visualization cards, and I can navigate between them. This is how to get back to the data properties. Pins, we're gonna cover this next time, right? Because pins will be useful for the when you want to reuse a visualization in a presentation. At the moment, we're not doing presentation, we're focusing on exploration. So see this? This is a total claim amount by coverage. So see here, it's showing me some details on my visualization. For example, see this basic, extend, and premium, and some details. That's not something that you're not gonna copy and paste this for grading, but this is just the starting point. Data slots. When I click on the data slots, it shows me which columns are used for the visualization. If you see the asterisk, it means that you have to specify the data that in order for the visualization to be valid, you must specify something here. Like for example, for each bar, I use a coverage column, right? And for each lens, right, the bar lens is a total claim amount. See that? So that's one way. I'm using it as a starting point. But in here, you can click here. See this? It says related. And you can pick up related visualizations to visualizations that you're currently looking at. And you can click on see more. See? And of course, I can pick any related visualizations and add this to my here, right? Add this. I can add any related visualizations if I want to. All right? To navigate between my visualizations, I can just use this here, right? And navigate between cards. Well, also, see this? Do you see this? I can navigate it here, right? But see here, I have total claim amount by vehicle class. And I can edit my visualization. I can go to the data slots. See, here are my fields. If I don't want my bars to be the vehicle class, I can remove the column and I can put whatever I want, right? I can do it showing total claim amount, and perhaps I want to show it by state. Well, I'm just making it up, right? And I'm going to drag and drop here to the state. State. I have to drag and drop state. Okay, drag and drop. Hover. State. Okay, so bars are now going to be state, right? Well, I can do more than that. Remember, I created a filter where I want to look only at the personal claim type for small vehicle. So now, suppose that I want to apply the filter, right? I want to look only for the personal policy type for the small vehicle. This is what I need to do. Do I need to create my filter again? No. What you'll do is this. You drag and drop this to the filters area, see? And I applied the filter to this visualization without defining my filter again, see? So here we go. I just did it, right? Another way to add visualization is from scratch, and I'll do it now. But before I do this, we have to save our work. See this, it says new exploration, little asterisk. It means that I did not save my work. So what I do is I go here, my content, and let's call this claims and weather exploration. Claims and weather exploration. Okay, I'm gonna go save it. Okay, and it's saving where? In my content, right? Well, I saved it. Now, if I want to create something new, right? I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna click on new, and that's gonna add a new card. I'm gonna click on the choose type, and I'm gonna create this one, the spiral. I'm gonna create spiral, so I'm gonna be killing two topics in one stone, so to speak. I'm gonna cover spiral visualization right now, and also covering how to add visualization, right? take a look at this. Data slot is what? Target, right? So you have to specify what you want to look at. And of course, we want to look at the total claim amount for this data. And you're going to be looking at the house value for assignment 2, right? It's going to be the house value. All right. Okay. Come on. Sometimes it's a little bit, oof. It's a drag and drop, but see, you have to really, okay, here it is. Okay, now, what is this? Let's look at this. This is a spiral diagram. Those are the combination of columns that could be driving my total claim amount. Let's uncheck this. One driver, one-way driver, it's a single column. It's a single column that can influence total claim amount. Very important, note which one-way driver has highest predictive strength. See this 31%, vehicle class has 31% predictive strength. The driver, when we start, we're going to start doing the decision tree shortly, right? We're going to be building sort of like a decision tree model to predict, to estimate the average vehicle total claim amount. But the column that is used, the one-way driver with highest predictive strength is a column that will be used as a first splitting column in a decision tree. All right. So remember, so this is a one-way driver, one column driver, two drivers, right? This is a two column drivers and the combination, right? So you can toggle which one you see. That driver analysis. Well, that's not driver analysis, that's a spiral model. I'll show you driver analysis as a spiral model sliced. So now I'm gonna go back here, right? Earlier today, I added this driver analysis for the total claim, right? Remember, I added this earlier. Here, I cannot just toggle, right? But what I can do is take a look at this. What is this? This is actually bullseye visualization that we looked at sliced, right? Where each driver or driver's combination is represented as a pin. And I can click on my driver and to see the visualization for it. For example, see total claim amount by employee status. And I can just click on plus to add visualization if I want to. I can add it, right? This one here, well, what it does is try to pick visualization type based on the data type. So here you're looking at the total claim amount, and number of policies, right? So that's that. But when you have multiple drivers, well, when you have multiple drivers, more than two columns, this is calling for the decision tree. Let's add this decision tree, and we're going to discuss the decision tree now. So I added this decision tree, right? We're going to talk about the decision tree right now. So what is this? Well, the decision tree represents the whole tree. Tree as a whole, it represents the whole data, right? And the tree can be traversed. We're going to use this tree to define the set of rules, so to speak, or the set of, well, no, it's not formula, but how do we do this? Let's use the data that we have. Let's build that model. Let's train that model to estimate the total claim amount from the data that we have. And then when we have a new data, brand new unseen data, that model is used to estimate the total claim amount. So here, all data, this is all data represented as this rectangle. This is everything, all records. If I hover over it, it's going to tell me it's 100% data, right? This is the number of records that I have, an average claim amount. Okay, well, when I hover, see this, the color code is an estimated total claim amount, average total claim amount, right? This is all data that I have. Now, remember, the highest strength driver was what? Vehicle class. Vehicle class is used to the first split. Now we're going to be making a decision here. we're going to be looking at the value of the vehicle class. What type, what class of the vehicle it is. Is it a two-door car, or is it a luxury, or is it as a SUV sports car? Depending on a car type, right, we're going to take the next branch. Let's assume that I have a two-door car. So here it is. I go here, I travel, I traverse. So see here, it says that average, this car, two-door car, two-door, four-door car, on average, this is the average claim amount, 351. But is it the only factor? No. And take a look at this. How much data falls into here? More than 6,000, about 71% of data falls under this category. And about 4% of data are luxury cars, right? So let's look at this one first. Well, okay, so now what else do I need? I need to look at something else. That's not enough, right? Next one is employment. So next I look at the value of the employment. Is the customer in question employed, or is unemployed, or that person is on a leave, right? Suppose that person is employed, so I take this pass. If the person is employed, right? So now what do I know? If I'm driving, if it's a two or four-door vehicle, if the person is employed, average claim amount is expected to be what? $293, right? Something like that. But, well, and it applies to 45% of data that I have, but I want more precise, right? So let's see. Is there another column that can be used as a split? Monthly premium. So is monthly premium higher than $94? If it's lower, then we take the first pass, see? Then it's going to look at the vehicle size. Well, this is the vehicle size. That's it. We arrive to the terminal node. So now what can I say? If it's a two-door or four-door car, the person is employed, monthly premium under $94, and the vehicle size is a medium or large, approximately the claim size is $254.86, right? Well, see, that's how you read this. You could also read the rules, or you could also look at the sunburst, but the difference here is a tree, because if you look at the tree view, you're traversing the rules from root to the bottom, right? And the final nodes are also called the terminal nodes. They call the leaf nodes, depending on the region you're looking at. Sunburst, it tells you the percentage of the rules to which the rule is applied, right? Well, for example, see this is a two-door car, right? It just shows you can hover, it just shows you that 71%. Only 4% of the luxury cars. And if it's a luxury cars, average total claim amount is what? More than 1,000. So see, I can click here and it's gonna break down further. But it's only breaking down because I clicked on this two-door, four-door car segment. It's breaking down and it showed me the percentage of rules where the car is two-door, four-door, and status is employed, right? There are 45% of rules. See here, and it's just the average claim, right? But I want to be more precise, and I keep going. But there is a limit on how far I keep going. There is a limit on number of nodes in the tree, right? And also there is a limit of number of records that can fall into each node. It's 25 and 36 nodes. Okay? Well, so basically, also here, those are the rules spelled out, and you can sort the rules by the predicted value, right? Well, see this here. This is a rule, and I traverse the tree to obtain this rule too, right? Oops, can't load the visualization. What's going on? There are strong T-storms in the area, so hopefully it does not impact the power. Okay, fingers crossed. Hopefully it will stay. Power stays. Okay, so Okay, let's save. Always save the work, okay? Always save the work. I'm gonna re-add the visualization. Something happened. Okay, now here it is. This is a visualization, right? Decision tree. All right. Well, and I've got the rules. So see here, these are the rules. And I can sort my rules, right? See, basically what the first rule here says is this. If the vehicle class is luxury, and this is the person is unemployed on a leave, those are the effective 2 days for the policy. Clicking on more to see more, see? Okay, so this is the number of cars to which the rule applies. And this is the average claim amount for those vehicles, all right? So see, those are just the rules written out. But then suppose that I have a new claim. How do I estimate the total claim amount? I need to see to which rule it fits more, right? To which rule it fits best. And I use my decision tree. I answer the questions. I traverse my decision tree to get the rules. Also see, and in your assignment 3, you will be asked to create 2 decision trees. So how can you do that? Well, there are multiple options here. Here, you have an option to filter the data and to analyze only, perhaps I want to look just at the luxury car claims. I want to look only at the luxury cars. You can do that. Or you can also look at the subsets of the columns, right? So here, see this, I can click here and I can remove, not remove, I accidentally removed the column. What am I doing? Okay, now I have to restore. How do I restore what I did? Oh, very easy. Take a look at this. Do you see the undo button? I just undid what I did. What I meant to do is this. I meant to do here, and I meant to do edit drivers. And I can specify which columns I don't want to use as my drivers. Probably I don't want to use claim amount because I have a total claim amount. Probably I don't want to use effective date, right? Something like that. Well, I can modify, I can create my second model this way, right? Just by selecting a subset of columns. Okay, right? I selected a subset of columns. Also, if I wanted to, I could filter it out and I could focus on luxury cars, right? Because if I don't have a lot of data, right? If most of my data is not on luxury cars, it does not mean that I'm not gonna get the luxury car claim, right? Okay, let's save that. Okay, topics are a little bit different order in here. I showed you the interface, right? I showed you how to add visualizations here. I showed you the relationship diagram. I showed you the suggested starting points. Now I'm going to talk about the embedded assistant. What is the embedded assistant? Well, basically, the whole idea behind it was, is it possible to ask questions in natural English language and let Cognos answer them for me, right? So that's the whole idea behind this. Well, okay, I'm going to click on assistant now. And if I type data, it should show me the data that I have access to. So this is my claims and weather data module. This is my claims. What I could do is, I could do this. I could run this command. I can run show source, and then I can put claims and weather data module. Well, if I run this command explicitly, right, or rerun, it's gonna show me, see this, it found several data modules with this name. So I click on claim and weather data module. Well, I click on it, right? Well, what does it show me? It's gonna show me the columns. Assistant shows me the columns. And for each column, it's gonna give me the column properties, column data types. If it has outliers is unusually large or unusually small values, right? So see here, just gonna show me properties. What I could also do here is I can click on specific column and it's gonna give me more information about the column. And it also gonna give me some illustrated fields that are related to that column. And I can look also at what influences the column, but is secretly behind the scene, I'm running this command, right? And suppose that I want to look at this. See this? I want to look at what I want to show the plot now. Now it's going to show the plot. I'm going to click on this vehicle size, and it's going to show me the plot. See? Show chart. In other words, what I could do is this. I can type in English. I can type English command, show chart, and then I can type two column names in my data. And it's going to give me options for data visualizations here. See? This is a data visualizations that I have. Right? And you can also show related visualizations here. But what I'll do quickly is this. I'm going to click on the new blank document, and I'm going to just drag and drop this visualization here. See, I can create my visualization this way. Well, see, I just created my visualization. Then, if I want to, I can always change column names. I can always go here, as I did earlier, and change the column name, right? Delete the column name and then the new column name. See, going back to assistant until I clear what I did, it's saved. See, I can click and I can click here, show related visualization. I can pick my visualization, see? Well, I can pick any related visualization here and edit if I want to. See, so that's an assistant. And I created a video on embedded assistant to help you more. So also I can just type, see, this is a command, show source, and you put the name of the data module, and it's gonna give you the list of columns and their properties. You click on a column, you see more for the column. See, so that's interesting, and you need to basically play around with this, okay? Well, you can use relationships, see? You can show the, see this like I did, I drag and drop, and I add this visualization. This is really neat because you can add this visualizations to exploration and also when you do the presentation, right? Our next topic is going to be the navigation path. So what is navigation path? Some data that we look at is hierarchical in nature. Maybe real life example will be your assignment 1, right? Well, assignment 1, you can look at the grade, average grade, or you can drill through. You can look at the assignment 1 grade per session, or perhaps you can look at the assignment grade for the major. Well, actually, everybody is in a data major here, so might not be the good example, but in general, you can drill through, right? For example, I want to look at the average assignment 1 grade. Then I want to average assignment 1 grade for data 610. Then I want to look at average assignment 1 grade for by semester. But I want to look at the session within semester, right? The data is hierarchical. In our case, we want to look at the average claim amount per state, and then we want to look at the region within the state, right? Let's save this because there are 2 storms in the area. We don't want to lose the work. Okay, so now I'm going to create a hierarchy here. So what I'll do here, I go here. I am creating this hierarchy in data exploration. This hierarchy will be unavailable in other explorations that I create from the same data source because I'm not creating this hierarchy in a data module. Okay, note that. All right, navigation path. I'm just gonna click here. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna specify what I want to do. I want to use the state code, and inside the state code, right, I want to use the location code. I want to use location without inside the state. See this? Location code. So that creates the hierarchy and it names it for me. And I'll show you. I'm going to use visualizations shortly to show you what exactly Elena is talking about. See this? So this is a state code and location code. I'm using 2 columns and I'm going to be visualizing the number of claims in this case, okay? I'll leave the name as is, and I need to click on OK, and we're gonna save this. Well, I saved it, right? Edit this hierarchy. Right now, what I'll do is I'm gonna create a new visualization, right? This is a brand new visualization. I'm going to click on the choose type, and I'm going to create this one, tree map. I'm creating the tree map. And well, what do I need to do is this. For the area hierarchy, I want to look at the state. I want to drag and drop state in the area hierarchy. That's a state. And the size, I want to look at the number of customers, right? So how do I do it? I need to drag and drop the customer, because how customer column is summarized. Remember? Do you remember if I look at the properties here, it's going to show me how the customer are being summarized. It's going to do count distinct. So I want to count the number of customer per state. Remember, a customer could submit multiple claims, right? So count distinct is going to do the number of customers. It does not matter how many claims the customer submitted. We want to count each customer only once. So that's why it's a distinct. All right? Okay? Well, so that it's summarizing this column. Area hierarchy. See this? Now I need to tell you this. If I click on this here, this here shows the data that is being visualized. Right now, I'm visualizing the number of customers by the state, right? But data is hierarchical. So I'm going to click here. Well, watch. I right click here. This is a drill down. I drill down. Now I drill down within that specific state. So what do I see right now? I'm seeing the data for the state of Missouri, the number of customers for different location code in the state of Missouri. That's what it's being visualized now. So the whole idea is to drill down. In the video that I created for you, I'm showing 3 levels of hierarchy in that video, right? So how do I go back? See this? I click here. This is how to go back, okay? Well, I can go back, see? Now I'm going back to the initial, okay? So this is a hierarchy. I can drill through the hierarchy. If my data is hierarchical, another example would be you can look at something by year, month, and a day, right? That's another hierarchical example. Cool? So that's a navigation path, data hierarchical, drill down. Now we're going to go back to our data module, and we're going to create the calculation. I want to modify the data module, right? So what we did here, we created navigation path. It's not going to be in the data module because we did not create it in data module. It won't be available. If I was going to create another data exploration, navigation path will be unavailable in it because I didn't create it in data module. But let's go back to data module. See, it's in recent, and also it's gonna show up in my content, right? So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go select edit data module. I'm gonna edit it. What is a calculation? Calculation is nothing but what? It creates another column, right? If I create embed, there are 2 types of calculations, right? Not exactly. There are 2 types of calculations: embedded calculation and standalone calculation. Embedded calculation, you create another column. You add a column. Standalone calculation, it just stores a single value. Perhaps I want to store an average total claim amount somewhere just once, right? So now create a standalone calculation, right? But let's create an embedded calculation first. So I have a column called monthly author. Suppose that I want to create a calculated column, and I want to call it annual author. What do? I click here. I click on create calculation. Right? I can just do create calculation. I like to use a calculation editor. And I just take the expression is gonna be the monthly. If I don't see it, I can just do this. I can do monthly premium author. Okay, I'm gonna drag and drop, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply it by 12, right? I'm gonna multiply it by 12. So see this times 12. Why? Why? Because I want to look at the annual. All right, always. Well, here the column name. Let me see. Let me call it annual. Annual. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna add a new column. It's gonna add a new column. I'm gonna call it annual premium auto. That's a new column. And it's gonna be monthly premium times 12. Always validate because you're gonna break the if it's broken, you could break the data module. You do not want to break the data module, okay? Well, so I multiplied by 12, right? See here? And it's valid. Now what else you could do is you can do a little preview here because this is a calculated. See, annual 69 times 12 is 828. Yeah, seems right. Now I'm gonna click on OK. And what did that do? It added the column. The column is visible and available for analysis. And the column is added where to the front. See, so this is annual premium. And at any time, I can edit this column, right? I can go to properties and I can edit it, right? I can edit the expression if I need to, if I have to, okay? Now we're going to do something a little bit more complex. Is it? Let's see. Oh, it's not on the slide, but I'll go over it. Okay, now we can create something complex. Suppose that I want to do perhaps I want to track the average claim amount, average total claim amount based on the state that the customer is in, right? So, and I want to use my total claim as a starter perhaps, but okay, so I clicked here, well, total claim amount, right? Let me find this, total claim amount, so this total claim amount. I'm just gonna do here, I'm just gonna create a calculation. I want to use a calculation editor, and what I want to do is I want to do state average. I want to call it, let's say, state average. State average. Average. Total claim amount, okay? State average. And this is what I'll do. I'll take this field, right? I'll always drag and drop here. Total claim amount, I drag and drop, right? But now I have to use a function, and the function name is average. Average. Well, but I'm not done, right? I don't want to do just total. What I want to do is I want to do this, and I want to say for, and I want to do this for the state. So the value in that column, it's going to be based on the state, right? I want to do it for the state. So, or if I don't like it for the state, perhaps I can use state code. I can use the columns that I want, right? I'll let you play with it. Well, I'm gonna use the state code perhaps. So see this? It's gonna be the average. It's gonna store average total claim amount for the state that the customer resides in, right? Now I need to do what? Validate. Always validate. So this is correct. Click OK. I added another column right now. And where is my column? It's gonna be in the front. See, it's in the front. See this? That's average based on the state. See, so this is Iowa. If I scroll down to another state, I'm gonna see different, right? I'm gonna see different. Or if I can sort this, right? I can sort this just to show you. Well, see, this is Oklahoma. I sorted it, and the average is different. See, I just sorted this just to show you. Okay, no sort. All right, if I sort it, it shows you the value here. Well, it depends on the state, right? So this is what embedded calculation. Why? because the value is stored for each row. There is also something called a standalone calculation. So how do I create a standalone calculation? I click here, and click calculation. And the here, in this case, it's going to be what? Average. I want to store overall average total claim amount. Average total claim. Okay. Well, that's average total claim. Now I'm going to find this. Well, first of all, I can just put the function name, right? I can type in, oops, average, right? And average, and I select, I can search for the column name. Okay, so that's gonna be what? Total claim amount. I just do this here. Average total claim. Well, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? Based on how I'm creating this, this is what? This is a file, right? It's an Excel file. This is the name of the worksheet in the Excel file. This is the name of the worksheet in the Excel file, and this is a column name. Okay, so that's a file that was uploaded, and it's taking the column average. I'm gonna validate, always validate. Then, well, I can preview. It's gonna show overall. It's showing averages. See? Well, preview is not gonna work well because I'm creating it, and I'm not creating it as an embedded. I'm creating it as standalone. So preview is not gonna help much here. Okay. Click OK. What is this? This is what the calculation. It got added here. Instead of adding it, see, if I click here, if I go to the grid, right? I won't see it. It got added here. See, so this is, what is this? This is, it's a standalone calculation, see? So now I'm gonna click here, so that's a grid. Oops, I have to click here to see the grid. It's added above the grid. See, it did not add below the file name. Why? Because it added once here. And to create it, I did not click here. I did not click here to select calculation. I click on top and selected calculation because I wanted to create a standalone calculation. I did not want to edit as a new column. I want to edit as here, just as a value, see? That's what it is. And this will be also available in my visualizations. Okay? Now, sometimes you want to look at the category of data. Next topic is binning. Let's look at another example, and maybe different example will help you understand it better. You're getting the letter grade, you're getting, for your assignments, you're getting the numeric grade, 85%, 90%, 95%. But when you look at your academic records, you are getting the what? Letter grade, right? So here comes the binning. If the grade is 90 or above, it's an A. 80 or through 89, 80 through 89.99999, it's a B, right? Something like that. So here we can look something similar. We can take the numeric column and we can bin it, right? We can discretize or bin the numeric column, which is the next topic. Well, don't be scared about the number of slides because there will be a big chunk of materials that we already covered. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to look at, we're going to look at one of the column, number of policies column, and we're going to create a data group. We're going to look at the bin. So there is a column called number of policies. This one. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on create data group. See, I'm going to do create data group. For numeric column, the number of bins is predefined. The default is 5. You can increase it. You can always change it. All right. Well, what it's doing is, well, when I looked at data, perhaps I noticed that my data was skewed. Perhaps maybe I have only couple records where there are 100 policies, right? Maybe there are only few records, just a few records with 100 policies. So, but I don't want it to skew my data, so I want to treat it as 8 or above, perhaps, right? See what it's doing? It's going to look at the data in terms of bins. It's going to look at, instead of looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., it's going to look at less than 3, 3 or 4, 5, 6 to 8, and more than 8. See? So what it's doing, it's created 5 bins and it's created the ranges. I can tweak the ranges if I want to, but those are the default, and it named the column for me. I can edit the column name. This is editable. Well, but see here, this as the predefined ranges, right? So now what I have to do is I'm gonna keep it as is, okay? And I'm gonna click create. What it did was it added 2 columns. The first column, it stores the bin number, and another column, it stores the bin label. And the bin number is going to be the hidden column, which is not available for visualizations. Remember, grayed out. So that's a bin number, and this is a bin label. So I can look at the data in terms of the category, right? I can do this for numeric, and I can do it for the categorical. So for the categorical columns, I have a column that stores this one, policy. So I can create a data group for that column where I want to treat everything that starts with a personal, I want it to be personal. Everything that starts with corporate, I want it to be corporate. I want to treat it in the same category. So let's quickly create data group. Big difference. Unlike for numeric, the groups are not predefined. You have to create groups here, okay? Here are the values, distinct values that the column has. And what you need to do is you need to create a new group here. And I'm going to create corporate. I'm going to create corporate. Then I'm going to add some values to it. How do I add values? Well, I have corporate selected. Then in here, I select the values that I want to add, and I clicked on the arrow. I clicked on the arrow here. Well, that is going to add my values to this group, right? And suppose that I added personal by accident. I don't want personal here. I added it by accident. To undo this addition, you would need to, well, you can click here, right? Or you can clear the whole group, or when you click here, there should be, oops, there is no. So you just click and click clear. See? That will do it. You can clear the whole group, right? If you added this by mistake, you can clear the whole group. Or you can click on it here. Take a look at this. I selected it. See this? I can remove. Well, there is no error to remove. But to remove, you select this and remove if you added it by mistake, okay? Now, I'm going to add another group, and I'm going to call it personal. Personal. Right? Now, I'm going to add this. Right? Let's see what happens. I can just hold the shift key, select this, and add all of them to this group. Then one more, and I'm gonna call it what? Special, all right? Special. I created special. Special is selected. I'm gonna just add this one is special. So see, for categorical, you can create bins, but the difference is you have to create the groups. There are no groups defined for you. See, so I call it policy group. It's called policy group for me. I'll just leave it as is, and you can specify what do you want to do if you have a new value, if you have another, well, in general, if you have a new record, right, with a different values that's not here, what do you want to do? You can specify with that too. All right, I'm gonna click OK. What did that do? That created, now it's gonna create just one column for category. It created just one column. See, this is a, it adds the columns to the front, see? Yes, that's a column. I can look at the column properties if I want to, right? And then, see this, when I click on expression, this is what it did for me. Cognos wrote this code for me, complicated code, okay? In order to create this column, it just created this group. It wrote this code. Do you see this asterisk next to the file name? It means that I have not saved my work. I need to save the work. Always save the work. It's very important. If the power goes out, I might lose the work that I just did. What I was talking about for a long time here, right? All right. Now, well, this is just a data group for numeric columns. I just spelled it out. I'll give you the slides. You will have a copy of the slides. That's categorical. Categorical groups not predefined. We looked at it. Now we're gonna go back to our data exploration, but let's look. What did we do after we had exploration open before? Remember, we added this data group column. We added some calculation. And now I'm gonna show you that what we just did will appear in exploration that you used to create this data module. So now what I'll do, well, I'll close this data module. I'm gonna go back. This is the exploration that we created earlier, right? I'm going to open this exploration. Well, take a look here. This is the data, right? What is this? This is a calculation that we created, standalone calculation. Here are our what? The data groups that we created, right? See? The slides are on spiral models that we talked about earlier. We talked about the driver analysis. Remember that? Okay. And remember this, if the predictor has a less than 10% predictive strength, it will be omitted from the model. All right. It's going to be above 10% predictive strength. If the column predictive strength or combination of columns predictive strength. So the column that you're predicting, it's called target. In some, you can have it's called target in this software. Okay. Now, well, see, I showed you how to edit drivers, right? You will have to create more than one model for your data. I showed you we discussed driver analysis, right? And you can look at the visualization. It's just going to pick visualization that works based on the driver data types, right? Then we also talked about the decision tree, and I was right. Each leaf node of the tree must have at least 25 data rows or observation. The limit is 36 nodes total in the tree. So remember, each node just represents a statistically similar records. The idea is you build your model and you use that model to estimate the claim amount for new data, right? Decision tree rules, we talked about this. This piece is a little bit differently because you can present it after or you can present it earlier. This piece I have not covered, I'm gonna cover. Sometimes you want to look at visualizations side by side, right? So if I look here at my visualizations, I have total claim amount by vehicle class, right? But suppose that I want to know, does gender really matter? So I'm gonna go to data slots here, and I'm gonna first, what I'll do is I want to add a filter, but instead of using the filters that we already created, I want to find the column called gender, right? And sometimes I don't see it, so I'm just gonna type gender. Gender, it's here. Now what I need to do, look, when you have to hover over the slot, see? You have to hover over the slot, otherwise it goes where you don't want it to go. And I'm gonna select the female for right now. Okay, well, that's a visualization for female. I created visualization for females. So let's go back to my visualization. This is a visualization card. What I'll do here, I'm gonna duplicate this visualization, right? Duplicate. Well, this is a copy. I'm gonna go to the copy. I'm gonna go to this filter here. Filter. And I want to change it to the male. I'm gonna click on OK. Right now, I'm going to save it. Now what I'll do? Watch here. I'm gonna select these two guys. I selected these two guys. Now I'm gonna click here. And I want to do compare. And now I can see here. Well, does gender really have an impact on the total claim amount? So if I'm a male, should I expect the average higher total claim amount? Something like that. So see here, I selected data point. So see, I can compare. This is a male. Right now I'm on a male, and it shows for some reason males have a higher claim amount for the larger size, vehicle size. See? About the same, well, no, see, this is the gender matters. I can see that on average, males have a higher claim amount than females for the most part, right? Well, except, well, see, this is a small, even small is higher, see? I'm just selecting different points and doing comparison. That's what it is, right? So that was the last topic. Almost. Well, this is how to save the exploration, right? You save it in the My Content. Oh, this is the big gift for you. That's a playlist. And I broke down some of the topics, and it shows how to buy topic. So that way, sometimes, there is a separate video on how to create a selectable filter, perhaps. So that way you don't need to search through the whole recording here on how to create selectable filter. You can go straight to the video, and I'm showing you more details in there. All right? So please give me a promise that you're gonna watch this more than once, and you're also gonna use the videos. Use resources that you have, okay? Save. All right? And don't make this, don't confuse different. This is a comparison that I just did, right? In your first assignment, you are asked to create comparison visualization for the last question. But in that case, this is what that means. It means this, that last questions calls for this, see? For the last question, you can pick any of this and then explain what you did. So the answer to your last question is going to be different for everyone. You're going to pick just anything, okay? Anything you like here for your data and explain. That's the last question for the current assignment. Remember, do it as soon as you can. Do not wait, right? After this session, right? Please make sure that access to your account is working, because I worked on all of the accounts. I created all of the accounts. If you're enrolled in the course, you should have an account, right? And remember, you know how to access the VDI, right? You have a link, and it's the same for VDI, same username and password as how you access your classroom. But your Cognos username is the first piece of your student email. Your student email, it's like msmith@umgc.edu, right? That first piece, that before the @ this is your username, and everybody's password is the same. If you're not sure what the username is, feel free to submit the ticket. I'm gonna give okay. And you're gonna get the username. If you're not sure what your username is, so please follow the instructions. Okay? And you might always, if you're running into trouble, submit the ticket. And very important, when you go to the welcome page, please make sure that you see this stuff in the team content. If you don't see the stuff in the team content, submit the ticket. It's a no-brainer fix, because it's a well, So your account access gives you access to log in, but I had to add you to the group for the data extend. I had to add you to specific group for you to see these files. Okay. Now I talked a lot. I want to see if there are questions for me. Please, questions. Please type your questions in the chat. I'm gonna check the chat right now. I don't see anything in the chat. Nobody has questions? Please come up with some questions. Okay? While I'm just talking, please come up with some questions that you want to ask. After this, please do yourself a favor. Do not wait until last minute to access. Okay? Make sure that you can access because your account was created by me. I created all accounts in all sessions. If you're enrolled, you should have access to Cognos now. All right, you've had access for a few days now, but you did not need it until now. All right. Anything else? Anything you want me to go over while we're still here? And please do not forget to mark your calendar. In 4 weeks from now, we're gonna have another session. By that time, you will know more about the application. You'll probably come up with you'll probably have more questions. Next session will be shorter than this. It's not gonna be 2 hours, but it's still gonna be a lot of interesting information to cover and important information. So please try to schedule some time. I know it's recorded, but still, I strongly encourage you to attend live. All right? Please. I strongly encourage to live attendance because you can ask questions and, all right? So let me see. Okay, is there a way to export visualizations? Well, you're gonna take screenshot for your assignment, all right? You're gonna take screenshot. So to take a screenshot, multiple ways. In Windows, there is a tool called snipping tool. So I can do on my PC, I have Windows, I can take snipping tool, I can do the print screen, multiple ways, all right? But you cannot copy and paste the visualization straight to your straight to your Word file. But what you could do, well, a little bit of housekeeping here. See this? So this is my decision tree, right? And you may want to expand the collapse, portions of the tree that you're not discussing in the paper. Then you probably want to hide these details, right? You probably want to hide this panel just to capture better screenshot. You may want to adjust the zoom here. See the zoom plus or minus in this here. And you take a screenshot. Taking screenshot. Did I answer the question? Let me know if I answered the question, please. Okay, absolutely. Thank you, Erica. No problem. So yes, but when you start working on visualizations, right? When we talk about the dashboards next week, not next week, sorry, in 4 weeks from now, I'm going to show you how to reuse visualization from exploration in the dashboard. You're going to be adding the pins, very straightforward, right? Well, anything else? Guys, while they're still here, please come up with questions. I love questions. Questions are good. Anything? No? Well, if no, then I'm gonna stop the recording. And this recording is gonna take a little bit of time to generate, so hopefully by tomorrow, your faculty will have it. And also the copy of the slides, okay? So I'm gonna stop the recording and I'm gonna stop sharing. And I'm gonna, guys, hopefully see you all in 4 weeks. We have second session. All right? And I want to thank everyone for attending tonight's session. Talk to you soon.